everyone, and welcome back to Wolf Quest 3, where with the rising sun, we are here with a lark! Oh my gosh, look at how beautiful he is! I know a lot of you guys think he has the exact same skin as, like, his parents, but actually, I think that he has quite a different appearance. There's something very complex about him that just really draws me towards our luckless lark, who today, my friends, is not able to hunt rabbits. So he is a very clumsy wolf, and every day that we are with him, I have to re-roll how difficult his day is going to be, and I have to re-roll what he can and cannot hunt. But maybe the challenges ahead are going to become a little easier now that he has met this lovely female. And she seems extremely shy. I think it's very interesting that she's actually a couple years older than Lark as well. But they've already been around for a little while. He has learned that she is absolutely terrified of fighting any bears. And we've started to unravel a little bit of her story. But let's see if we can do a little bit more work to get a little closer on the quest of finding a mate. And also, are those the bears again? Oh my gosh, those are the bears again! What is up with this wolf and like constantly being stalked by bears? And she's running from them. And we're gonna say that this is because her mate and her litter of puppies were actually attacked by bears. And we'll say 3 out of her 4 original puppies that she had in her first litter actually were killed by a grizzly bear. Her mate was quite severely wounded by a grizzly bear, and they had to flee the den that they had been happily living in because of grizzlies. So we're not going to make her have to put up with them, and we can't hunt these rabbits here anyway. Oh wait, but there's some food this direction. Oh, phooey. Okay, well, we'll go around. We'll go the long way around them and try to find something else to eat and to convince this wolf to potentially be our mate. Oh, and is that a bunny? Oh, no, that's a coyote. Okay, well, I don't want to try to eat the coyote anyway. All right, what is going on over here, though? There's a lot of scents. Fox scents. Oh, we must have scared a fox. There's a mule deer somewhere over here. So let's actually chase the mule deer scents, and let's see if we can manage to find something for this lost lonely wolf of the shadows to go ahead and eat. All right, that's fine. She just disappears into the void of the inky darkness of the river. That's amazing. But I really like her, you guys. I think she has a very tragic past in history. Her mate was actually killed by hunters, and so was her last surviving pup. Oh, and we just spooked a beaver. That's really funny. I think that startled Lark because he had no idea there were beavers in the water, just like his sister had no idea. Food! And we just burst up on top of these guys. Oh man, there's a road ahead which smells like humans. Oh my gosh, we would actually leave that too. Here, we're gonna go ahead and howl because we're gonna say that the mysterious potential mate we have with us, 4 stars. Don't forget the fact she's a 4-star, you guys. We're gonna say she actually warns us that this area may be too dangerous and is now going to share with us the extremely tragic tale of how her mate and last child from her first litter were actually, look at her, she's trying to get a little closer to us, were actually killed by hunters. So that's what happened to her family before. Aww. And so she can smell the humans, and she knows that Lark has never smelled humans, but she knows that this is just far too dangerous to go any further. So we'll go ahead and rest, and then maybe in the morning or when the moon rises, we will cross the river and try to go ahead and find a place where we can get more food for them. But Lark is going to bow to her wisdom. He's very clumsy, he trips over his own paws, but he has a good heart, and I think that's what she sees in him. Also, I have loved the many ideas you guys have given for names. I already have a special name that leapt out at me for this female that one of you actually suggested, and I just was like, oh, that is her name. As soon as I saw it, it just fit her so well. However, do keep the names coming because this is a 4-star match. So if we can keep this mate alive, and if we can convince her to go ahead and join us and become part of our pack, then we're gonna have potentially a lot of puppies, because the more stars you have, then the higher the likelihood of having bigger litters. And speaking of bigger litters, I still haven't done anything. I've never used a perk point before. Oh, we really are in the wrong spot. Oh, there's another bunny and we can't hunt bunnies today. I've never used perk points before, but I'm very intrigued at what perk points might be able to give us, since we can have stamina, youthful prowess, which would allow us to have larger litters of pups. That would be really, really, really cool. Oh my gosh. Territorial might. I mean, look at these cool things. Then you start having some like good memory. Knowing knows. See, a lot of you guys have requested that I do an Iron Wolf playthrough and that I do a playthrough all of the ages. So we might do that. Right now we're working on trying to get through 10 generations with the Dawn and the Dark Moon. That's gonna take a long time. It's probably gonna take till at least the end of the year at this rate. All right, let's actually come over. We're upwind of them, so they're gonna sense us earlier than I wanted, but let's do a little hunting. You guys remember when I said that Lark is extremely clumsy? So you remember when I mentioned that and I told you guys that he like gets himself into really interesting situations because he is extremely clumsy? Yeah. Yeah. He turned into like a bean. He looks like one of our wobble dogs. Lark, what are you doing? He's really contorted himself into something odd here. Oh my gosh, it reminds me of when we had that Zoo Tycoon 2 episode with the penguin that was suddenly flying in the middle of space. But all right, we saw how that went down, didn't we, guys? All right, let's see if we can get this fawn. It seems that the female is actually distracting the mother, which is going to be very helpful for us. She's just right in it. Maybe she's got a lot of experience of her own from being an older female. And I actually wonder, do you think that the mates you can potentially get end up having perk points of their own? Because that would be extremely useful. Oh, she's really a good huntress. Especially, she must be really good at hunting fawns too, I think. Because that little guy, he didn't really stand a chance. Good job! Well done! The wolf is impressed with your strength and hunting skills and willing to be your mate! Yes! Okay, let's do it, you guys! I would like to welcome you all to a very special new wolf. A new member of our Dark Moon Pack. Or no, this is the Dawn Moon Pack. Or the Moon Pack as a whole. To Cinder. What a gorgeous name. One of you guys mentioned the name Cinder and it just swept my heart up because she is a wolf who has been through severe tragedies, already losing a mate, already losing her first litter of pups. She really is a survivor. She's kind of like a phoenix rising from the ashes, but she doesn't have that much drive. She doesn't have that much courage on her own. She's more like a little cinder that you have to kind of pick up like an ember and then carry and try to ignite. So I love that name for her. We found a mate! Yes! All right. There isn't enough unclaimed space here in Lamar Valley for you and your mate to carve out a territory. Travel northwest to find an unoccupied turf. All right, we're definitely going to go ahead and start working on that because Lark has a mate. Oh, this is fantastic. I'm so happy for him, and we're actually really close. Aha, and we can look at the map. Na, 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 na. We can't do that with Rosetta, but we're actually really close. So we're gonna go ahead and try to like raise our pack affinity just a little bit more before we go. I like to have it at like 100%. And then we're actually going to say that Cinder is going to use her wisdom to guide us to where she has heard and kind of explored out some good places to be able to go ahead. Look at you, Cinder! Some good places to be able to go ahead and try to start a new pack and a new family. And we're also going to have to figure out what her life quest is going to be. I'm thinking it might have something to do with bears, or it just might have something to do with all of the pups surviving. So I'm gonna give that a little bit of thought, but for now, we're gonna go ahead and say that Cinder's life quest is that we don't lose a single pup, because she already has experienced loss. Oh. And I love that she's older, so she has actually come with a story of her own, too. And we're gonna say that she's spending these starry, starry nights. She's seen how Lark is kind of clumsy. She's seen how he's a little bit of a goofball as a result. But it's really helping her to perhaps go ahead and ignite these feelings of hope. He's young, he's very energetic. He comes from a pack that did his best, that did their best to raise him. He survived being stepped on by a bison as a tiny pup, so he is a hardy survivor. And I could see how she's maybe hopeful, Cinder's hopeful that this is the right mate for her, and the right mate to make sure that not a single one of her pups will be lost. But she's not expecting him to be like super strong. She just thinks that there's something about him. There's something about him that makes her think she's ready to go ahead and try again. All right, so while their courtship deepens over the bloody carcass of a mule deer fawn, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna start heading out. Let's do this, guys. I can't believe that Lark has actually managed to kind of outpace Rosetta at this point, because they're going to get a head start at being able to pick out a good den for these two. I'm not exactly sure where Lark might want to den. He's very, very clumsy. Maybe somewhere where he can't trip over his own paws and fall off a cliff. That would be nice. But we'll go ahead and start heading into winter, with Cinder and Lark learning a little bit more about each other. Diving off with the desire. Oh, there's so many rabbits everywhere. We can't catch them today. That's hilarious. There we go. Start a family of their own. I am so excited. Don't blame me, guys. She was living the best life. But all right, so where on earth are we going to actually have Lark try to go ahead and set up the perfect home with Cinder? Ooh, well, we can actually look at the map with Lark. Wow, look at how beautiful the world is in winter. And how are we doing with pack territories right now? So Lark actually grew up over to the far east, and he and his family were constantly being chased around by the Junction Butte pack. And I think that he might really want to go ahead. I don't think he would want to be near the lake because he's a little clumsy. I think we might head back up kind of for the central area again, because I think like that's traditional Moonpack territory that we haven't taken over in a long time. But I think that he really likes big open spaces. The McBride Creek and the McBride Lake area would be really fun to be able to, oh, you know what? And there's no competition over here. I think we might like wind back into this zone actually, guys, because we haven't had any competition here in a long time. And I think Cinder would say that they really should hold their reserves and try to just take over territory that is not very contested, because Cinder really doesn't want to fight other wolves. She wants to try to play it as safe as possible so that we can try to protect the pups as much as possible. So we'll go ahead and do that. But let's go ahead and a little howling as we arrive to a new area. And then I think that's what we'll do with Cinder, is we'll say that her advice is that we focus on territory that is unclaimed, that we do not participate in fights where there's areas that's above 50%. Areas below 50%, especially if they're down in like the 20%, she probably feels okay with us trying to take over. But I really think Cinder would advocate for focusing on places where competition, rivalry, trying to fight off other wolf packs just won't happen, because life is difficult enough as it is. And she doesn't want to see us. Oh, there's some deer. Are we upwind, downwind? Oh, they saw us! Alright, let's see if we can turn one of these deer. Maybe, perhaps. Aha! We might be able to get some dinner. That would be really cool to be able to pull off a hunt. Yeah, I really think that Cinder's philosophy would be to try to do your best, not... Oh, she did it such a good job! She is a good huntress! Yeah, I think Cinder's philosophy would be to do your best. Alright, let's back up. Wait for just a second. to do your best to go ahead and not have to be in areas that are too full of competition. Aw, really? Is that how you're gonna play it, dear? Is that how you're gonna play it? Cause... Wait! Wait, wait, wait! Come on, get it out of the water. Get it out of the water. I think the water is very icy cold and Lark is doubting his desire to be in here. Why do I always fall for the deer that make me want to hunt them? Right over here by the river. What is even this river called? It doesn't even have a name down here. That's it. This is not the creek. This is Devious Deer Fork. Or like Devious Deer Waterways. Because every time I get caught up in trying to chase the deer over here and every time I regret my life choices. But you know what? Lark is going to try his best to prove that he can be a good mate and provide. So we're going to let him go ahead and try to chase down these deer and find a place where there's not too much competition. So alright guys, thank you so much for joining me on this adventure. I'm so excited to see that Cinder has decided to join us. And hopefully it won't be too long before we are actually going to be finding a den and being able to have some puppies with Lark and Cinder. So keep those pup names coming and I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.